As mentioned in Part 1 of your training as an agent of the OEI, you will be entrusted with top-secret information regarding the true cosmology of what is known as the multiverse. You must never reveal any information you obtain as an agent of the OEI to outside agencies, civilians, or media organizations of any form. Consequences for revealing this information to civilians or media organizations will be severe, including permanent incarceration and public execution. By viewing this recording, you are agreeing to these conditions. Now, let us begin. Part 3. The Many Worlds Theory. Have you heard of the Many Worlds Theory? If you answered yes to that question, then you know that the Many Worlds Theory suggests that quantum mechanics asserts that the universal wave function is real and true, and therefore there is no wave function collapse. This means that every possible outcome for an action that you have done or will do has happened and will happen. How is this possible, you may ask? This means that if you pick up a pencil in front of you, there is a reality or universe where you did not pick up that pencil. This can be extrapolated further to historical events. All outcomes that are possible to a historical event will have mirror universes where those events transpired in very different ways. In Part 1, we examined various adjacent realities with divergent histories to our own. We also learned that some versions of Earth may be uninhabitable for a variety of reasons. Let us move on to Part 4, in which we will discuss the dimensional layers closely related to our reality. Part 4. Dimensional Layers of Earth Variant 001. Earth Variant 001, or what is known as our universe, is connected to several intersecting dimensions. We have been able to detect 2 so far through direct interaction, and researchers believe there may be as many as 10 in total. Warning: viewing of this information can be highly stressful. Subjects who have not passed their psychological and willpower evaluation may experience the following symptoms: loss of time, uncontrollable laughter, alteration of skin pigmentation, hallucinations, sudden onset of advanced psychological disorders, and
the sudden urge to commit suicide.
To ordinary citizens, our reality may seem like the only one we are able to interact with. But the boundaries of physical reality are not as solid as scientists originally expected. Our physical world intersects with at least 3 different dimensions, each with unique properties. The first dimension is what is known as the Astral Lands, also known as the Dreamlands. The term Astral Lands was first coined by in Messages from the Abyss. Was a researcher at a top-secret OEI location who discovered a stone idol statue. Unfortunately, experienced sudden onset of advanced psychological disorders and hallucinations.
Based off of observations made
experiences, we know that the Astral Lands were a loosely defined collection of realities with shifting properties. Photography so far seems to be impossible once a subject has crossed the barrier between physical reality and the Astral Lands. The following slides are artistic representations from agents like you who crossed over to the Astral Lands and returned. Many locations inside the Astral Lands do not obey the laws of physics as we know them. This is an artistic representation based off a report made by an agent like you. The agent involved described a corridor beneath a vast sea of stars. Doors of white light appeared in odd intervals along the path. The path seemed to have no end. Some locations inside the Astral Lands act as a home of non-human entities. These entities are not to be interacted with, as they can become quantum entangled with OEI agents. If you hear a non-human entity nearby, it is advised that you do not speak to, touch, and do not look at non-human entities. Agents who have disobeyed these rules have suffered from the following symptoms: sudden onset psychological disorders, hallucinations, suicidal thoughts, and death from contact with non-human entity. The agent that this artistic representation was derived from reported arriving at a decrepit farmhouse after traveling along a highway from California to Nevada. The name of the highway has been withheld for your protection. The agent reported experiencing strange sensations while traversing highway in the middle of the night, and upon arriving in the Astral Lands,
reported seeing a long shadow of disturbing proportions. The agent reported that the entity pursued them everywhere they went, and that attempting to view the area resulted in returning to their arrival location. The agent also reported hearing sounds similar to snapping or cracking sticks, and associated these auditory observations with the non-human entity's footsteps. The agent ran into the back to Earth Variant 001. They reported seeing the
non-human entities. 3 days after debriefing, the agent was not in their assigned bunk, used for monitoring subject's condition, and was assumed to be deceased. Some locations within the Astral Lands are known to be tied to physical locations on Earth. This location was observed when an OEI agent accidentally crossed through the veil at a top-secret location.
Once inside, they reported that they were standing upon a leathery, flesh-like substance that seemed to stretch on endlessly. This leathery, flesh-like substance featured pits, which upon closer examination, the agent described as mouths filled with serrated teeth. The agent also described the sky as looking like a cancerous lung.
Just like Earth variants discussed in Part 1, locations in the Astral Lands are categorized by their threat level, ranked from 1 to 10. 1 is considered benign, but may carry unknown psychological effects from prolonged exposure, and 10 will result in immediate death upon crossing the veil between dimensions. A detailed database is located at most OEI research bases and can be accessed with an OEI clearance level of Omega. These clearance levels do not transfer to other government agencies. Agents viewing this cassette automatically hold the security rank of Alpha. Congratulations! Beyond the Astral Lands lies dimensions tied to powerful unknown forms of consciousness with unknown motivations or intelligences. These are highly dangerous places that may seem immediately similar to the Astral Lands, with the exception that scientists believe they exist at the very fringes of known reality. It is advised that
no OEDA agents
ever attempt to reach these locations, as only one agent has ever returned from this level of reality alive. That agent also experienced sudden onset of severe psychological disorders and committed suicide not long after returning. This artistic impression was compiled based off of fragmented interviews with the OEI agent. Subsequent attempts to send agents to this level of reality resulted in those agents being lost.
They are now assumed to be deceased.
The final level of known reality is rumored to be called the Abyss. It is a place suggested in many occult grimoires, featuring forbidden knowledge to be the bridge between universes. The Abyss is also rumored to be the home of a powerful form of consciousness. This consciousness is described eating worlds lost to the Abyss. At this time, no OEI agent has ever interacted with or traveled to the Abyss, and all information, including the information used to create this artistic impression, has been taken from grimoires, which have information matching collected OEI data on Astral Lands and the areas beyond them. Congratulations! You have completed your basic OEI training. The officer in charge of your training will assign you tasks appropriate to your clearance level. Further training classes may be required in the future as data on Earth variants and intersecting dimensions improves. Please instruct your officer to remove this cassette.